What's going down, folks? It's your boy C back on the Madden 17 franchise, and in this video, we're gonna jump in and take a quick look at the upcoming draft class because the offseason is right around the corner and it's time to start putting together our draft strategy. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions on what that draft plan should be, go on ahead and drop me a comment below, and then I'll come back and evaluate those and we'll put a plan together moving forward. Now, starting off with the left tackle position, we've already signed Jake Matthews to a long-term deal, so the left tackle spot isn't a huge position of need, but then again, we can always use some depth. Looking at the draft board rankings, look at how many left tackles have a first round projection. I'm counting at least 6. That's a lot of left tackles to go in the first round. Now, here's the guy I think we should target if we do decide to go left tackle in the first round, and that's Mike Metropolis. He's got a B impact blocking, B- run block, and B- pass block. So his top 3 skills are better than any of the top 3 that I've seen on the board. So he would have to be our target if we decided to go left tackle. Plus, he's projected to go in the late first round, and as of right now, our first round draft pick, I believe, is around pick 16 or 17. So I think that would be a pretty good spot to pick him. Now, moving to the left guard position, there really isn't much on the board in terms of depth, so I might have to look into free agency for any type of left guard depth, but right now, Andy Levitre is our left guard, and at the time of this video, he's 82 overall, and I think he's about 31, 32 years old, so we could use an upgrade if we happen to find the right one, but it's not that urgent. We could stick with him for another season or two if we had to. Now, moving on to the center spot, I really haven't done any scouting other than the first person on the board, and that's just because I'm loving the play of Alex Mack right now. I know he's getting up there, he's 31 years old, but he's still producing for me at a high level. So just like with Levitre, we can stick with Alex Mack for maybe another season, and then after that, we can probably start looking to bring in this possible replacement. Now, with that said, I am probably going to come back later in the year and scout some more of these guys, and if we do end up making a pick at center, it'll just be for depth only. So that brings us to the right guard spot, and again, I haven't scouted any of these guys, and that's because I'm really liking the play of our rookie right guard, Tyrone Tyler. If you guys remember back to the draft video, we picked Tyrone in the 4th or 5th round, and I think it was about week 4 where I plugged him into the starting lineup, and I haven't looked back since. Tyrone has just done a nice job for me there, so I think we're set at the right guard spot. Now, the right tackle is a huge need for us, you guys. When it came down to resigning either Jake Matthews or Ryan Schrader, a lot of you guys chose Jake Matthews, so that's the route that we went. So we're going to have a pretty huge hole at the right tackle spot. Now, I'm hoping that free agency plays out the way that I want it to, and I'm able to grab both a pass rusher and a right tackle. But if it doesn't pan out that way, we're going to have to come back in the second round and either pick Josh Levy, Kason Brisbee, or Clay Martino. One of these right tackles has to be our guy. And the player that I'm most interested out of all 3 is Kason Brisbee. He's got a B run block, B- pass block, and C+ impact block. He's projected to go at the midway point in the second round, so that just puts us in our range to be able to grab him. And of course, it all depends if some other team doesn't jump in and snag him first. Now, we're going to talk about the defensive side of the ball for a little bit. And you guys, I find it hilarious how close this game is imitating my Falcons in real life, because through this point in the season, we have not been able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. So I'm letting you guys know right now. I know I said I wanted to share the GM responsibility with you guys to help me build this team, but I am going to invest heavily in our D-line coming up this offseason. I don't know how many times I've said during my commentaries that the quarterback has all day in the pocket. That has to stop going into next season, you guys. I cannot take that. So there are a couple of guys that are pretty interesting to me from the left defensive end spot, and they're right there at 3 and 4 on the board, Fontenot and Kitchens. I think that either one of those guys could definitely come in and make an instant impact. And I'm actually leaning towards Kitchens a little bit more because he's a little heavier, so at 318 he could definitely slide over and play some D-tackle for me. So we'll see how that plays out. Now at the right defensive end spot, Courtney Upshaw has pretty much solidified that position, but I kind of want to move him over to the other side, so picking up a right defensive end would be the ideal pick. So looking at the prospects here, there's a couple of things that we might be able to do if the draft falls a certain way. One way to approach it is by going with Justin Barber right here. He's got A- hit power, B+ power moves, and B+ tackle. Those aren't bad for top 3 skills. I kind of would like to see block shedding as one of his top 3, but he's projected to go late in the second round, so he's definitely on our radar. The next guy we can go with here is Marcus Dyson, late second rounder, and his top 3 skills are B+ tackle, B+ block shedding, and B- power moves. Not bad, so that's a couple of options that we can go with there. Now, what I'd really like to do, if possible, is double dip by taking Dyson in the second round and then coming back and picking up Jamal Bruce in the 4th. His top 3 skills are B hit power, B+ pursuit, and B- power moves. And on top of that, check out the middle of the screen right there at the bottom where it says new record holder at Louisville. Jamal Bruce is making the national news, so that's definitely something that we should pay attention to going forward. Now, taking a quick look at the D tackles, Madden gives our D tackles a C+ grade, so that's definitely something that we can consider looking at, but I don't know that I necessarily agree with that grading, you guys. Now, we've got Grady Jarrett and we've got Dominique Easley. We've also got a player that I picked up off the Patriots practice squad, Malik Austin, who's currently playing the right defensive end slot, but I think he may be better suited to slide over and play some D tackle. And don't forget, we've also got Courtney Upshaw. We can also kick him inside to play some D tackle. But if the draft falls in the way and we have to pick a defensive tackle, then Markeith Searcy could be the pick here, or we could also consider grabbing Pearson here. They're both pretty comparable to one another, but Pearson is 2 inches taller and he's more of your prototype 4'3" D tackle weighing 306 pounds. So that's probably the way that I'd prefer to go since he's a better scheme fit, but either one of those guys could definitely come in and play. Now, when I first started scouting the corner position, you guys, the first thing that jumped out at me is how tall these corners are. I mean, look at this, you guys. Out of the first 7 prospects, 4 of them are 6'2". Are you kidding me right now? Do you guys have any idea how difficult it's going to be to throw the ball in season 4 or season 5 once these corners develop? That's just crazy right there. Now, I really don't know what the plan should be during the draft for the cornerback position. I'm pretty happy with our corner situation overall, and I really don't anticipate us picking a corner early, you guys. I think that we have other needs that need to be addressed, and like I said earlier in the video, I kind of want to use this draft to focus on building depth along our D-line. But with that said, I do see myself coming back later in the draft, maybe around the 5th or 6th round, and grabbing one of these 6'2" corners and just hoping that I hit the lottery, but we'll see how it plays out. Now, before I wrap this video up, there's a couple of ideas that I want to toss your way. The first idea is, what if we try to upgrade the free safety spot? I believe at the time of this video, Ricardo Allen is 80 overall, and he's done a pretty adequate job at holding down that position. But there are a couple of guys who I think that could possibly come in and be real difference makers. I think Connor Rhett right here could definitely have an impact for us on the field, as well as Aaron Cross, the number 2 safety on the board. I think either one of those guys could come in and take the free safety spot to another level. We've already got Keanu Neal playing strong, so it only makes sense to have an equivalent caliber talent playing next to him. What do you guys think about that? I think at the end of the day, it could be a good move, but we'll see how it plays out. Now, a lot of you guys have been dropping me comments asking me to find Matt Ryan's replacement or a decent backup, and I think I may have done both. Brad McMillan is 6'6", 234 pounds, has an A throw power rating, B+ short accuracy, and B mid accuracy. The only problem is we'd have to give up an early 2nd rounder, more likely a 1st rounder, in order to draft him. Now, given our other needs, I don't necessarily think that this is the move that we should make right away, but it really is something to think about. I think this QB is going to end up being a good one. But again, a lot of these player moves are all contingent on what happens during free agency. If I end up filling certain needs during free agency, then that opens up extra draft picks, and who knows, we might be able to go quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round, but it really all depends on what happens there first. Anyways, folks, I'm up against it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm signing off, and I'll see you in the next one.